Hi, my name is Lynne from Lynne Art here in Aurora, and today I'm going to show you how to make a dragon using recycled materials, junk mail. Just be sure to ask your adult before you use any mail or junk mail. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Here is an example I made using a snack box. So if you want the legs to bend and kind of stay up like this, you want to find some sort of snack or cereal box. Some type of really stiff paper will work really great for this. Here are just the basic supplies. So a pencil with an eraser or a separate eraser. A pencil sharpener is always good. A scissors, and this is my son's scissors from school, so I just wanted to use a scissors that you may have around your house from school maybe. Some glue, a glue stick, or the liquid glue is totally fine. And then some colors. So you're going to want a black for sure, and it could be a variety, markers, colored pencils, crayons, whatever you have is totally fine. And then I'm going to be using a green, a light green, and a blue. If you have more, great. If you don't, or if it's a mix of pens and pencils and markers, whatever you have totally works fine. Now for the paper, if you have construction paper or color paper, that's great. If you don't, go ahead and use whatever paper you can find. I am using the back of a box. The cereal box works great. I cut off around the edges first, so you can do that too. I have an envelope. If you have a piece of white paper, that will work great because we want whites in the eyes, or a white crayon's fine too. And I have just a piece of regular notebook paper. And I do have a little bit of foil too. If you have it, if not, great. If you have it, if not, no big deal. So you're going to want at least, I'd say 4 pieces of paper. So we're going to go ahead and start with our pencil, and we are going to make a line right down the middle. Then we're going to take this section, make a line down the middle of that, and then a line down the middle of that. So we have 3 lines. Then we're going to go just to the left of our middle line, and we're going to make a wavy line all the way to the edge, all the way around to that line, all the way back to that line, and then to the middle. Then we're going to, this top line is actually going to go down, come down a ways because we want to save room for our head. So let's make sure that kind of comes down just a little bit. And then we're going to make another wavy line right next to that one. So now here is your time to decide, do I want a really thin dragon? Do I want a really thick dragon? Art is fun because you get to decide. You get to make the choices. Make your line, follow along the other line to the middle and then out. I want this to be a little bit longer. Okay. So now we have our basic shape of our dragon, and then from here you can adjust it. You can, maybe you want a certain part a little thicker, maybe your dragon's more bumpy, maybe it has jagged edges. It's up to you. You decide. You're in charge. So now we're going to turn our paper so that it's horizontal. That means the long way is on the bottom, and we're going to make a heart for the tail. So I'm going to make a little dot here, then I'm going to draw a heart right on the bottom. And then I'm just going to erase these middle lines here. Okay. And now we're going to make a diamond shape for the head. So take your dot in the middle and then go ahead and make a diamond right over that neck part on your dragon. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Nothing has to be perfect in art. In fact, it looks cool when it's different looking. So let's go ahead and erase all of these interior lines here. because that way we'll have our nice solid outline of where we want to do our cutting. Now we're going to go ahead and make our legs on the dragon. For the legs, it's just a rectangle with little zigzag lines over the top. So I'm going to make a leg here, and you can angle it off to the side, whatever you think, and then a zigzag line over the top. I'm going to make one here, angled off to the side, zigzag line on the top for the claws, and then one down here. I'll make one down here too. If you want to add more later, you can always add more later, or you can remove them later by cutting them off. So we can go ahead and erase our lines again. And then we are ready to start cutting. All right, so the cutting part might be a little frustrating. I know the paper, if you're using the boxes, the paper is kind of thick, so don't get frustrated. And it's okay to get frustrated. I mean, I get frustrated when I'm working on my artwork too, like some of these pieces. It's totally fine. And what I do is I just sit for a little while and I just take some deep breaths, and then I just start again when I'm ready. So it's totally normal to be frustrated. And it's not going to look perfect, and that's okay. So here we are. We have our basic dragon shape cut out. Now you might be bored already. You might say, okay, I'm done. That was a lot. So what you can do is just go ahead and color in your dragon from here, and you just have your basic dragon. It's done. So I'm going to take my green crayon and I'm going to go ahead and color in the rest of my dragon. Color around the eyes and around the nose. And I like to press really hard because then you get the really bright color. All right, so now I have my basic dragon. You might want to stop here, or you can keep going. If you want to stop here, you can go ahead and bend the legs just like this. So bend them at the body and then bend them once again at the foot, about a quarter of a crayon length. And then your dragon will stand up on its feet just like that. So one's at the body here and then one's at the crease here. So, all right, so we're gonna keep going, and we are going to go ahead and do the eyes. So we're gonna grab our white paper, maybe you have an envelope, or just, you can even use your lined paper or anything like that will work, any type of white paper. So we're gonna take our pencil and then we're gonna draw a diamond shape. So you might wanna look at your dragon and see, kind of measure how big you want your eyes. I think bigger eyes look cooler, but that's just me. So I'm gonna draw a diamond shape on this part of my envelope. Okay, and then I'm gonna cut it out. Our kite shape, and it doesn't have to be perfect again. Now, I can use this to make a pattern, like so, to make my other eye. Oops, something like that. And cut it out. Okay, so now we have our two eye shapes, and I'm going to kind of put one on top of the other, and I'm going to just cut with them both together, so that way I get both of them exactly the same. And then we can put our eyes on, see how they look. You might want to make it a little different. You might want to make it a different shape. Something like that. Okay. So that's that part of the eye. Now we're going to take our black crayon and we're going to color black on our paper. Just about a square, the size of about half of a crayon length, like so. Oops, broke the crayon, no big deal. If you have broken crayons, they work just as well as the sharp ones. Okay, and then I'm going to pick my eye color. I actually have some brown paper from my junk mail, so I'm going to use my eye shape, and I'm going to use my pencil, and I'm going to mark. I'm going to trace this, and I'm doing this so that I can kind of see how big I want the iris to be. The iris is that color part of the eye. So, and it doesn't matter if it's all solid color or not. So I'm going to go ahead and cut these out now. I'm just going to cut. Sometimes it's easier to, if you're working with little pieces of paper, to cut out just the little part that you're working with, and then cut it down from there. Okay, so now I have a little diamond shapes in my brown for my iris, and I'm going to use this, and this is a little tricky because this gets really small. I'm going to use this to cut my circle for the iris. And you can do this by just rounding the edges of your diamond shape, so until you have a circle. Or you can draw the circle shape on the back or the front and cut it out from there. Okay, I'm going to put this one, my first circle, on top of my other paper, and you can either trace it or you can just cut if you feel confident. And if you accidentally cut some off, it's fine from your circle. Okay, so now I have my pretty brown eyes there. All right, now we'll take our black paper. I'm just going to cut out the shape that we made just because it's easier to cut from the smaller piece. Okay, and I'll take this circle again. You can trace it on the back. And it gets a little difficult when you're working with the smaller pieces. Now we want the black part of the eye, the pupil, to be smaller. So we're going to draw a circle in the circle, like that. So we're just going to cut out this inner circle. Cut right on that line. And we have the pupil. And then you want to cut another one that same size, and you can freehand it, or you can put one on top of the other, or you can draw another circle on the back, however you'd like to do it. Take your glue stick, glue on those eyes. Start with the white. We'll glue on top of that for the brown or green or blue or whatever color you want your eyes. Yellow. And then black on top of that. All right, so now we're going to take our same black and we're going to cut, kind of take a look at how big you might want your nose. So I'm going to cut a rectangle first. And again, you can go on the back, use your pencil to draw your rectangle. Okay, cut it out. And then on the back of that, use your pencil to draw a triangle. So make a dot in the center and then connect the sides. And then you have your triangle lines and you can cut that. Usually I would just freehand all this, but I'm showing you the basic steps. Now we're going to cut off the little edges of the triangle. Just a little tiny snip on each end. And we have our nose shape, and we'll glue that on. There. All right. And we're going to take our lined paper and we're going to make wings now. So we'll fold our paper in thirds. Just, we could do an accordion fold, like that. Okay, and then we'll take our scissors and we're going to just cut along the fold line and down about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lines here. Now we'll take our pencil and we will make sure the folded part is toward you, and we're going to make a fan shape. So let's make a fan shape, and it's going to be open on the bottom. It's going to be connected to the other side. So we want to have at least 1 or 2 lines of space at the bottom. And then we're just going to make some scallops along the edges, however many you want. And this is going to be our basic wing shape. So we'll just erase this top part if you need to, so that you know where to cut. And I think we'll go ahead, let's just color in this before we cut. It'll just make it easier with our light green. So I'm gonna, oops, see, it's kind of hard to color in a little piece of paper, but we're gonna just kind of color in this, doing the best we can. Doesn't matter if it's exact because we're gonna be cutting it off anyway. Just try not to rip the page. And then we'll color on the other side. I know we don't have anything there, but we're going to just kind of color in as much of this side as we can, just to make it easier. Wherever you think your wings might go. Okay. Now we're going to fold it back again and cut on our line. Make sure the paper stays folded. You got to pinch it a little bit. And if you don't want to follow your pencil lines exactly, you don't have to. I will often just kind of make some new lines with my scissors, whatever I want to do. And remember not to come to the point. And here are our wings. Now we can take a blue crayon, the dark blue crayon, and we can make some lines where the bones might be. I'll do like 3 lines here on each side. And now, because we folded the paper, our wings are symmetrical. So we'll make them look the same on either side. What symmetrical means, it's the same on both sides. Okay, take our glue Glue in the middle there. And lift up the neck. And place your wings wherever you like them to be. Like that on top of there. Okay. Now I want my wings to match my tail, so I'm going to just go ahead and cut out another heart shape. I can measure this with my crayon. It's about 1/3 of the crayon, so I'm going to make my mark about 1/3 of the crayon here. Oops, use my crayon to measure. So I want my heart about that long, so I'm going to make another heart shape here. Erase any of the middle lines. And I'm going to color it with my light green. Get some color down on it. And then, okay. And then I'm going to make some lines with my blue crayon from the heart here. And I do about 5 on the tail. All right, and then we're going to go ahead and cut that out. Remember, if you're cutting from a small piece from a big piece of paper, just cut off the size that you need. It just makes it way more easy to cut. All right, put a little glue on the tail. And put your new tail over the top. Okay. I'm going to go ahead now. I'm just going to round the head a little bit. If you like it this way, you can go ahead and keep it. But I'm going to round my head a little bit. I think it looks a little more friendly that way. And then I'm going to just cut the tip off the top here. Okay, and last thing we are going to do are the scales. So if you have any foil, it's really fun. I love working with metallic paper, so it's really fun to make scales out of shiny paper. If you don't have shiny paper, or if you don't have any gum wrappers or foil anywhere in the house, no big deal. Just use whatever you have. I'll show you how to make 2 different kinds of scales. First, we'll do moon-shaped scales. So this guy here has some moon-shaped scales, so I'll show you how to do those, and some triangle spikes. Okay, so start with some white paper, lined paper, whatever you have. Color it whatever color you want. I'm going to make some yellow. Oh, this is going to be about 1/2 crayon wide. Cut that out. All right, now the scales look cool if they're a variety of sizes. So we're going to go ahead and cut this into strips. And I'm going to cut this one about in half too, so we just have a variety of sizes. It looks cooler when you have smaller scales on the smaller part of the dragon, and then the wider scales at the wider part. So we'll flip it over. We have the yellow on one side with white on the back, and we are going to draw moons. So we're going to draw an arch, and then another arch, and then a line on the top, and then just kind of keep going all the way up your paper, and then you'll cut out your moon shape on this line. And then you have your scale. So cut that part off and do another one. Okay, and then you can make different sizes. That's how you do the moon-shaped scales. Now I have some strips of foil cut out, and I'm going to make some diamond-shaped scales with this. So I have my two strips together, and then I'm going to cut on an angle like so, and I'm just going to keep cutting on an angle all the way down the line, and you can see these will make some diamond shape or kite shape scales. And then you can glue those on. And again, those look really cool too if you make them different sizes. I'm going to make a couple smaller ones here just by cutting my paper and making a few small ones. And then you can go ahead and glue those on. Okay, and here we have our finished dragon. You can make yours whatever color you want. You can make it whatever size you want or shape, or you can make the legs really long, however you want. This is your choice. This is your art. You can do anything with it. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you had fun, and I would love to see your dragons. If you want to post a picture below, follow me on Facebook and Instagram at Lynne Art, Lynne with an E, L-Y-N-N-E. And I do have a website with these lovely prints available, as well as a lot more and soon. Anyway, thanks so much for following me, and I hope you had a great time. Goodbye.